So thank you so much for joining us, Shannon. Let's see. Hopefully, um, let's see. Courtney might join us, and we might have another person join us as well. So we'll keep an eye out for them. Yeah, maybe Stephanie will join us. So we're going to be going over some questions about our inaugural retreat in Peru. We're super excited that ALIGN is launching our first retreat. And of course, we would have to go to Peru for our first retreat. And gosh, Daniel and I have been dancing around each other as professionals for quite a while now. So if it's okay, I'll pass it over to Daniel who can share with us
Sure.
about his beautiful property.
Yeah, well, I'm Daniel Gutierrez. I actually just moved here. Well, I moved here 6 years ago from Long Beach. I lived in Long Beach for 23 years, and I had been bringing groups out here for spiritual trips for about 13 years before I moved here. So we now host our retreats and align hosting others to have the retreats here. And with the experience my wife and I have, because we speak all the languages here, we're able to have those experiences in the mountains, in this high elevations where the indigenous people live. And so it's more than just it's a cultural immersion more than a visit to Machu Picchu. I mean, everybody wants to go to Machu Picchu, and I get that. But it wasn't until I moved here that I realized that there was so much more to the Sacred Valley than I had even seen myself. There's 13 indigenous communities above Pisac, and there's just mountains that are absolutely incredibly just moving. I mean, Asangate, which is one of the places that we will visit, is beyond breathtaking. I mean, I always say I've been to Machu Picchu 48 times, so I'm kind of over it. So So, now, I'm looking at other mountains and the
Mm,
spirituality that they bring and the connection and the meditation that we do amongst those different mountains. So
mhm.
I'm really excited about this trip for you guys and what we'll be able to um do and experience and walk away with from this journey.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said that you touched one of the places that we're gonna visit. So if it's okay,
Asangate.
would you mind going over the itinerary? One of the
Sure.
questions that one of our attendees had was about the agenda, timing. I guess the more information you give us, maybe more questions will come up. And Shannon, feel free to jump in at any time, okay?
Yeah, so obviously day one will start out here in Cusco. Cusco's about almost 13,000 feet. Pisac, where we'll be at, is 10,000 feet. Believe it or not, Machu Picchu is at 7,500 feet, which is lower. So I like to give people that information because, people, especially, I came from Long Beach, so I was at like no elevation at the beach, right? But we leave Cusco and get to Pisac so that people don't have problems with elevation. But most of the time,
Mm,
um, elevation, if you feel elevation, it's going to be a headache or it's going to be dizziness. And usually within 24 hours, you're over it. Your body is acclimates and moving fast may be a little bit tough, but most people seem to get past that. So I'm trying to get to give me a second here as I get into
yeah.
the,
Yeah, and when I went to Cusco, I'll jump in while you're going through that,
yeah.
Daniel. When I went to Peru 10 years ago, yeah, I felt it when I landed in Cusco. Definitely felt it right when we landed.
Yes.
But once we, acclimated and they did give us the cocoa leaves or the cocoa tea, and we
Mhm.
were fine. Yeah, and again, you want to move slow so that you're looking at everything. We're not rushing through this trip.
Right. Let me see here. I don't know why it's not
And I
letting me.
think, let me see if I need to make you allowed to share or anything like that. You should be able to
If
share,
you have,
right?
if I have questions, if you have questions, feel free to ask them while I'm
Okay.
getting my
Because I
laptop.
think
I
that
do
was
live
one
in the
of,
Andes.
one of
Hmm.
the concerns that Shannon had about the elevation and if people had experienced elevation sickness and what would be the solutions for that. And I remember you mentioning something about oxygen, just having a little extra oxygen tank, and it's not.
Well, we have oxygen at our place, if people need it. Very few times do people actually need it, but also you can purchase here in Peru at the pharmacy a small can that you can have in your backpack. So if you
Mhm.
feel you need it, yeah, you can just give it a hit, just my
Yep.
my son
Yeah.
did that, so when he needed it, I think it was more of a support thing for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even think they're that expensive. Like I don't $5, I think, 20 soles, somewhere around there,
Oh,
25 soles. It's
yeah.
not
So it'd be
expensive.
nice to
So
just have one.
yeah, I mean, if you feel like you might need it, it's not a bad idea. So it's not a big investment, and it's more of a security blanket than anything, because most of the times, if you drink the coca tea, take your time, drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself, then you'll be fine.
And you mentioned the areas that we're going to be down are lower in elevation. Really, then.
Yeah. The only place that's a little bit higher is Asangate.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, Asangate is 17,000 feet, but we're not going to 17,000 feet. We'll be at probably 14, 15, where we'll be at in terms of where our kind of base will be at. And I don't know why I can't get this to work, but it's a beautiful, beautiful mountain and a beautiful experience. Give me just, here we go. Maybe this will work. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to go through each day.
Mm-hmm.
And Shannon, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. A lot of times people, will popcorn questions to me. I'm fine. I've been doing this for many, many years. The first place that we're going to go to on day two is this Mara salt mines. The salt mines, most people, when they think of mines, they think of like we're going into a cave or something. We're not. Salt mines were actually uh, founded by the Wari civilization about 700 years ago. And so we'll go to that area of the salt mines, which is in Maras. And when we leave there, it's a beautiful area where you have a beautiful view of the snow-capped mountains. It's a flat area where they used to use for growing wheat and hops for the Cusqueña beer. But also, when we're coming back for lunch, we'll stop at a place that actually has llamas and alpacas, and you get to feed them. And if people want to go four-wheeling or they want to go horseback riding, we can do all that in that place. It's very beautiful out there. My wife and I did the four-wheeling out there, and it was just incredibly beautiful. It was breathtaking. I mean, I had never done it. People had done it, and we decided, well, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about an hour, and it's not, rough terrain. You're just surrounded by beauty. It's a breathtaking opportunity if you decide to do that. The day three, Machu Picchu, right? So Machu Picchu is a full day. So you leave here early and you get back here late. Because in Machu Picchu, you get there, you see Machu Picchu, you have lunch, and then you have time to, if you bring your bathing suits, you can go to the hot springs.
That's
Aguas
right.
Calientes,
Yeah.
yeah, Aguas
Yes.
Calientes means hot springs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not called Aguas Calientes anymore. It's called Machu Picchu Pueblo for the
Mm.
tourists.
Okay.
But it's founded around the hot springs. So you'll have time to go up there and sit in the hot springs, and if you want to keep walking, you can go up to the waterfalls that are there. Also in Machu
Mm-hmm.
Picchu, they have a museum, they have a butterfly sanctuary. There's a lot to do there.
Yeah.
So you'll be there all day. It's so you'll take a backpack. So what does that entail? You go from Pisac to Ollantaytambo, where the train station is. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. Then you take this gorgeous train ride from Ollantaytambo to Aguascalientes or Machu Picchu Pueblo, which is another hour and a half, but it's through the Andes, along the Vilcanota River or the Urubamba River. And it's just stunningly beautiful, the whole trip. I mean, you don't even know it's an hour and a half because you're just kind of trying to take
Yes.
in all this magnificent beauty, right? And then once you get there, you'll have an English speaking guide that will take you to Machu Picchu and explain to you the history of the Incas. So that is, here we go. That is day 3. Day 4, we have a day of rest, reflection, and integration where maybe some training will take place there, or we can also that day, if people want massages, we can do
Mhm.
that. We can make that happen. Whatever you need.
Nice.
This is really an
Mhm.
opportunity. I think that depending on the size of the group, and someone
Yeah.
asked me about another group. They got a little concerned. They said, well, is this going to go even if we have like 3 or 4 people? Yes, yes. It's no matter what. Those people that sign up are going to go. We're going to go. We're going to have fun. We're going to make it happen. So I don't want people to worry about, well, if there's not enough people, you're not going to go. No, we're going to go. I've had one and I've had 18, 20, 30. So it really, whoever's supposed to show up will show up, I guess is the way I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So don't think anything about that. Day 5 is we have kind of an optional day for those people that are interested in plant medicine, doing Wachuma. Then we will do that. And later, as we get closer, I can give more information and
Mm-hmm.
documents that will help you understand what Wachuma is about. Wachuma is grandfather plant, and ayahuasca is grandmother plant. So those two are native to Peru. Ayahuasca coming from the jungle, and San Pedro coming from more of the dry areas. Um, Ayahuasca is a vine that grows on the trees in the jungle that's cut and mixed with other things to give you the effects that they give you. San Pedro is just the cactus that's boiled and consumed. So if you're not interested in that, which is no problem, then we'll find something for you to do that day so that you don't, or just sitting around waiting for those that went out and experienced
We'll go
that out,
shopping.
yeah, go shopping or whatever it is. But we'll have something to do once we kind of figure out
Yeah, we'll figure out
who's
who's doing
who's
what.
going to who's going to do what. On day 6, Friday, March 27th, is the Indigenous Community Day. Over the last 6 years that I've been here, I actually got stuck here during the pandemic. I moved here in June. The pandemic hit in March. So I was literally here in Peru. I couldn't leave. There were no airplanes. The country was shut down. So I was here for 2 years without gas, without anything. I couldn't even see my employees. And so it was a pretty rough time, but it gave me a time to get to know the indigenous people of the 13 communities above Pisac. And so that day we will choose a indigenous community to go to. We'll learn about how they make their textiles. We'll learn about how they live, how they eat. We'll eat with them. We'll dance with them. I mean, it'll be just a day of celebration. They enjoy having us come up. I have 18 godchildren and up in the community, so I'm very well known. And that's good. My sister, my wife speaks Quechua, so
Oh,
because I
very
don't speak it,
nice.
and that is the native language up there.
Mm-hmm.
So she communicates to me in Quechua. I translate that in English, and then we just kind of all figure it out, right? So it's a beautiful day, and people really like that day. On day 7, which is Saturday, March 28th, we will go to Pachanta. Pachanta is at the base of Apu Asangate. Apu Asangate is one of, if not the most spiritual mountain in this area. Like I said, she sits about 17, 18,000 feet. We obviously are just going to the base. There's 7 lakes there that are part of the water system that kind of is there. We'll take horses up there. And so if you haven't ridden a horse, it's no big deal. These horses are just, they go. You don't have to do anything. They just go. But it's just so beautiful. They also have another opportunity to get in the hot springs, which are right by the place that we'll be at. So make sure you bring your bathing suit. All right. Yeah.
You're
Um,
speaking my language there.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
amazing to sit in a hot spring and then be surrounded by such beauty. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, you know.
Yeah.
The other thing is that because you guys are coming right at the end of the rainy season, everything is super, super green, so it's beautiful. You're coming at a great time. So, on the 27th, the 28th, and 29th will be in Apalasangate. Well, while we're there, I'll have an indigenous shaman do a ceremony for us, a
Mm,
despacho ceremony.
nice.
This guy does not speak Spanish or English. He speaks Quechua, and my wife
Mm,
doesn't even understand him. So I don't know. We always find a way to communicate with him.
mm.
So that will be a
Wow.
lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that would
gonna
be
be a blessing.
yes, yes. And it's a great time for because we're on day 8, 7, and 8. So you're at the back end. So if you bought crystals or you bought things for your friends, it's a good to bring them to have him bless those.
Mm,
So
mhm. And
and it's just go
just really
ahead.
quickly, Daniel, like really fast, what would be a despacho ceremony when someone says,
Okay.
"Well, what is
A,
this?"
Yeah, a despacho ceremony is a payment to Mother Earth. It's the indigenous people of Peru are read coca leaves or the Kiro read and hear the mountains. So it's a ceremony of coca leaves of all the different seeds. Mother Nature has a sweet tooth, candy. So it's a really nice. It's not a medicinal celebration. It's something that we all just take in ourselves. You'll pray for yourself. You'll pray for your mountains that you're around in LA or in California or wherever you come from.
Mhm.
And you will also pray for your own health and the health of others. So it's a really, really beautiful ceremony. We do it here in anytime we feel we need to cleanse the house. In August is Pachamama month, a Mother Earth month. So we do despachos here, asking for great crops and thanking her for the abundance of what we'll receive
Mm.
in the rest of the year. So that's what a despacho is about.
Thank you, Daniel.
No
Stephanie
worries.
joined us, and Stephanie, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in, okay? All right, so we were going on day 9 now. We were just talking about
Yeah, March
day
30th.
8
Eight,
with
7 and 8. 7 and
7 and
8.
8, March
Yeah.
29th, 30th. We were just talking about our despacho ceremony. So it sounds like it's an offering.
Yes, it's an offering to Mother Earth. It's a really, really beautiful experience to go through that. Like I said, we do despacho ceremonies when we feel our business isn't doing well or
Mhm.
we need to cleanse energy
Hmm. Well,
and
now that I think
gratitude.
about it, what it means, despacho, like off your chest,
Yeah,
getting it
yeah,
off your
yeah,
chest.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, what's next? Oh, he might have frozen because he mentioned that he is in the Andes.
Salvador, San
But
Salvador, Peru, not El Salvador. People
yeah.
say, "Oh, we're going to El Salvador." No, it's San Salvador, Peru. We will visit a very uh, I guess ancient is the word I'm thinking about. Um, Temple, and we'll learn a little bit about the mountains that are close to Pisac, just outside of Pisac, and it sits at the base of oh, I can't even think. I'm trying to think of the um, Pachatusan. Pachatusan is a mountain. It's actually in front of mine where I live. He sits about 16,000 feet, and it means he who holds the world. And it's a beautiful experience just to, as we're starting to wrap our week up to sit down when we get back and just talk a little bit about our experiences and what you've learned for that particular um, week. And then, of course, on day 10, you will be headed back to the airport to head back to wherever it is that you live. Um, and and then that will be the end of our journey. So all that's on the link that I'm sure that she shared with you
Hmm.
already. You can always send her questions as far as logistics. Um, Things like what should I wear? Should I bring my laptop, cell phones? I have a PDF that I'll send to her that she can send out to you all because I know there's a lot of questions. So I have all that information. It's just I don't send it out too early because then you lose it and you ask for it again anyway. So I wait till we're a little bit closer. Yeah.
You've done this before, Daniel.
I've done it a few times. Yeah. It's like, did you send that? Yes, I sent it the first week. Oh, I lost it.
Let
Okay,
me go
never
through
mind.
all those emails.
Yeah. So I'll send, money, weather, what to bring, clothing, all that stuff's in one
Okay,
PDF. So
okay,
it answers pretty much all your questions. Yeah. I've done this a
okay.
few times.
So I had a question from somebody about their diet.
Yes.
Some people have dietary restrictions,
Mhm,
allergies,
mhm,
whether they're vegetarian, vegan.
mhm.
What's your take on that?
Well, there's a form that you will fill
Mm-hmm.
out and send back to me on each
Okay.
person, and I will know everything about you. Yeah, one of the other things
Food
that's
needs.
very important about
Okay.
that's also on the forms is that if you're going to be doing plant medicine, if you're going to be doing San Pedro, then I will need to know if you're on any kind of medications,
Mm-hmm.
depression or heart or whatever it is, so that I can let the shaman know so that we're, making sure, usually what I tell people is like the day of doing, so San Pedro we do like at 9 in the morning. So I would say, look, if you're taking medication, if you cannot take it until later in the day, I'm not going to say not take it, but take it later in the day after you've had a chance for your body to kind of go through and process uh, the medicine, then you'll be fine. But I've never had any problems with any kind of medications. We just like to know what they are.
Okay. Okay.
And we know people
So,
take it's no big deal. It's
right,
just for your it's for your
antidepressants, so
safety.
on.
Yes,
Right.
it's for your safety.
Okay, so we have forms for food, dietary
Everything.
information. We have forms for when people want to do any of the plant medicine
Yes.
ceremonies. When you say that we're going to be out for lunch, do you find restaurants are okay with accommodating a vegetarian or a
Oh
vegan,
yeah. Oh
right?
yeah. I mean, again, I
The food
only go to
is,
places,
oh my God, the food.
a lot of my clients are from California, so I already know they're all special.
You know
They have
us.
all these dietary, nowhere else in the country they do, but I know I lived in California 23 years. I know how it is. So yeah, I mean, the one thing you can rest assured here is that no matter where we go to eat, I've already been there many times, and I go there because it's safe for the people that want to have salads or stuff like that. So it's not a problem.
Awesome. Awesome. Any
Yeah,
questions?
but I will know based on the sheet that I send because I'll send
Mhm.
you sheets, release sheets, food, just things that I need to know
Packing,
to make sure that
yeah.
yeah that we give you the most comfortable experience that we can give you. We want you to be happy. You know, I know people worry.
We like that. We want to be traveling and being happy, and that's
Yeah,
why I'm so excited to
absolutely.
partner up with you because I know
Yeah.
that we
Well,
would
I mean, like I
have
said, I've
an
been doing it a long
excellent,
time. Yeah, I've been doing it a
exactly,
long time. Everything that could come up, I've already seen it. So nothing
exactly,
surprises me.
exactly. So I knew that we were going to be in great hands. We have the option of having double occupancy, single occupancy. All of that information is.
Nail in like the
Go
different
ahead.
if that's available.
Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Shannon. What was that?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, the single occupancy, because I think it listed like the price for double, and then that would be helpful to know too. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I
that.
think it's on the sheet, but you can't have single occupancy. It depends on the size of the group, I mean, I just need to know as we get closer, if you're someone that really, is wanting to be by yourself, we'll start to look at that stuff. I mean, I don't, I have a whole stack of groups that are coming in the next couple of months. And so now I'm looking and going, okay, shit, who wanted a room by themselves? But we will accommodate you. So there's no problem there.
So the price that we have advertised, that's for double occupancy.
Yes.
Okay, for so
Yeah.
single occupancy, what's the price difference on that then?
I think it was on the PDF, it's like $500 more for the single, right? But then you get, you have your own room and you're, and I mean, the truth is there's a lot of people that prefer to be on I do. I mean, I'll pay the extra not to have a roommate. I dealt with that in college, and that was a long time ago. I don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So for 9 nights, $500 extra for your own
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Did you have another question, Shannon?
I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please do.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Were there going to be other groups that you'll be hosting at the same time that we're there?
No, no, I never host two groups. I mean, sometimes when I have like one or two people, there might be another, but the only time that I see a cross, I might send everybody together in Machu Picchu, so that I'm not, worrying about this or that, and I can handle that with my guides. But most of the time, I have four people coming in Saturday, and they're by themselves. I'll be with them for the 9 days that they're here, and make sure that they get what they came here for, this spiritual connection to our land and to the people here.
Okay, cool. That's great. I also saw something about drum making, and I wanted to hear how big is this drum? Can you shove it in your suitcase?
Uh,
What's the
n-
situation?
yeah, yeah. A normal suitcase would depend. Well, I always tell people I don't know. I mean, because some people come here and they go, "Well, how much money do I need?" I said, "I don't know how much you shop." And I've seen it more than once. They got to buy another suitcase because they bought this, they bought that. I mean, you come to Peru once or twice in your life. You don't come here all the time, right? The drum is, and I think I have the drums at the place or not here. Okay, so the drums are, I don't know, they're big enough to fit in a big suitcase. The big ones that people bring, it'll fit in there. It'll even fit in a carry-on. But when you make the drum, it comes in you can get a case for like 50 soles or 100 soles that you can put on your shoulder and carry with you through the airport if you need to do that. So there is a way to carry it. I mean, people always worry about that. Is it going to fit in my suitcase? I don't know how much stuff you're bringing.
Okay,
So,
cool.
but the answer is yes, it'll fit.
Cool. You mentioned the horseback riding on day 7. I was wondering how long is that?
The horseback riding in Asangate is about an hour and a half, somewhere around there, 2 hours.
Okay,
And
cool.
and you and what'll happen is the journey's about 4 hours, but we'll ride up to a certain point, get off the horses and walk around the lakes, and then when we get to the other side, the horse will be waiting for us to go back. So you kind of get a break from being on the horse, because if you're not used to riding a horse, it can be rough.
That happened to me in a family vacation years and years ago, and
Yeah,
4 hours.
yeah. Even I mean, every time
I
I get
was
on one, I'm like,
also for a
Jesus.
week. So
Yeah, you're walking around like John Wayne. I mean, it's
it was like a rhinestone with Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone when it's like you walk like you got jock itch real bad.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and a lot of people end up walking that
It
way.
was really painful. So, okay. Also,
Yeah.
another question I had is just like the activity level in general. Is that ever a problem for anyone who comes on the trips? Because it does, obviously, like there is hiking and walking in different amounts.
Yes. Well, I mean, you're in the Andes, so it's not going to be flat. So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
always like to tell people that. The only place that you will need to climb up and down rocks and stuff is at Machu Picchu. Because the rest of it is you're not climbing mountains, you're walking along paths and stuff. So, you can get away with a good pair of tennis shoes that have some grip. You don't necessarily have to have hiking shoes. The only time I will recommend hiking shoes is if you have like bad ankles and you need a support, because there are a lot of rocks and you could twist your ankle.
Cool. I appreciate hearing that because of the combination of both the altitude. It sounds like some people like have unexpected adverse reaction to that they don't, but it sounds like you don't see that very often. So that's good to
I
know.
don't. And the interesting thing about elevation that it has nothing to do with how physically fit you are. It has to do with how your body processes oxygen and lack of oxygen. So I could have the best in shape muscle guy out here and he's laying in bed because he can't handle it, right? It has nothing to do with that, but I would recommend if you want to get in shape and you want to do something, is use a Stairmaster. Build your legs. That's what you want to do. And that's what I used to do when I used to come out here from Long Beach, is I'd get in there and 6 in the morning, I'd be working like a Stairmaster to get my legs in shape. Because you want your legs to be strong.
All right, guys. So we have about 10 more minutes left, maybe 7 minutes left to wrap it up. Just want to make sure we have any other questions. Stephanie, did you want to jump in? Um, Let's see. And I think that's the
So
only
while she's
questions that I
thinking about
have.
that, yeah, there she is.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I hopped on late, so if I missed something, I'm sure
Mhm.
Nayeli can catch me up to speed. But I was interested in hearing a little more about the Wachuma ceremony, or
Sure.
if there's anything that you'd like to speak to on that.
Sure. Wachuma, like I was saying, is grandfather medicine. It's my favorite medicine because it's a heart-opening medicine. And the best way I can explain Wachuma is we as human beings, I think, are not given the ability to easily connect with everything that's around in our nature or even to see beyond our present space because I don't think we could handle it. You know, we just could, it's just a lot. When you're on Wachuma, we do it during the day and we do that, and you're in the Andes. So when you're on Wachuma, the veil between you and everything that takes in the sun, a plant, flower, a bird, the sky, the clouds, any of those things can become your teacher. And all of a sudden you see the real connection between all that's living, all that's taken in the sun, and it becomes part of an experience for you. I mean, it's really beautiful. I remember when I first did it, I was like reluctant, you know, I was in corporate and I said, that's all I need to be on the front cover of a magazine. No, thank you. You know, and I eventually decided to do it. Long story short, I was sitting on a ledge, and I was like, "Well, this sucks. It didn't work. I wasn't feeling anything." And I said, "Well, so much for that." And then I hear, psst. I was like, "What's that?" Psst. And I looked down. There's this flower, and it says, "Why you ignoring me?" I said, "Because you're not real." And this is why you talking to me. I said, "Okay." And that started my whole journey. And it was actually my Wachuma journey that brought me to here, well, you know, later on, because that experience opened me up to a lot of my ancestry and a lot of things that became part of my real life. So I know we have a time limit here, but I want to say one thing before we leave. For those of you that are ready to make a commitment, for those of you that you know can go to her link and make your deposit, the longer you have to make the payments, the better. You know, and right now there's a little bit of a lead there. If you're willing to make that Friday, end of the day, Friday, your day, not my day. For those of you that are willing to make the deposit, I will give you the drum session free, which is $500, which is 250, right? So that's a gift from me. So for those of you that are ready to make that commitment and get on board and start making your payments so we can start getting this thing together, that's my gift to you. Friday end of day. Does that make any sense? I know Shannon's ready. Well, it's not fair to the rest of them. I can't see them. I can see
Yeah,
Shannon.
you know, Daniel, would it be okay if I share this with the three other people
Absolutely.
that are,
Doesn't
let
matter
them
who it
know
is.
the
Yeah,
the
share it
Friday
with them
end
and
of
say,
the
hey,
day?
make
Okay.
your deposit, make your final deposit, and you'll get thanks for the Stephanie, the prayers there. You know, you'll get a drum making session for free.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Yeah,
kind, generous
you're
offer to us.
welcome.
Thank
You
you.
bet.
So we are talking about end of the day, Friday, the 26th,
This Friday.
September
Yep, that's
26th.
right.
Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so we're cutting it down short on time here, wrapping it up. We have an amazing itinerary of 9 days, 10-day. We travel out of Cusco. Daniel went through the itinerary with us. I think we're set. We're going to be fed. We're going to be taken
Yep,
care of. We're going to, so the reason for this retreat is a spiritual retreat. It is to
right.
connect with your higher self. I'm calling it return to self. What parts of us have we left? What parts have we
Mm.
forgotten? Return them to you, bring them back to you, right? Um, yeah, March 22nd, it is.
Be here before
Yeah.
you know it.
March 22nd it is. We will be in Peru meeting with Daniel and his team, and they're going to take care of us. We're going to have ceremonies with shamans at the despacho ceremonies, and beautiful, just getting it off your chest ceremony, along with all of the other sacred sites that we'll be visiting. I can't wait to
Yep.
go to the mine salts, and I heard something about chocolate as well there.
Yeah,
So
chocolate salt, my favorite.
Awesome, awesome. So Daniel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for making yourself available. And,
You
as
bet.
more questions come up, we'll reach out to
Just
you.
shoot them
But
over to me.
I'm excited to have our team with you. And I know that you're going to take such fabulous care of us. Thank you.
Peace and blessings. Good night.
Thank you for your time. Have a
You bet.
wonderful evening, everyone. We'll touch base. Awesome. Good night.
Bye.